And 50-50 comes up all the time. I feel like 50-50 is one of those things that comes up often in conversation. You for 50-50, not for 50-50. Is 50-50 something a man should be asking?
I'm not for 50-50.
You're not for 50-50?
No.
Explain why you're not for 50-50.
From my perspective, I think that there's just no way for a person to give 50% of anything. I don't even feel like in bills it's 50-50.
Well, you can't, but I think it's the thought. I think nobody can just sit there and cut every bill in half, but I think it's the thought.
No, because, okay, then that's a demonic illusion.
What do you really think is delusion? Delusion, you really think it's delusion?
I said illusion.
An illusion or a delusion? It is an illusion.
It is.
Because you can't, because there's no way you can just split everything down the middle.
No, and there's always somebody that's giving more. That it goes back to what I said, what I had been saying originally. There is no relationship where you both come in and you both stay on the same level. Either somebody is pulling you down or somebody is pulling you up. You don't stay on an even playing field the entire time. That's how come it matters with who you get with. The equally yoked part is imperative, because if you're equally yoked and rooted in our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, then you don't have to worry about somebody pulling you down. It's both of you pulling each other up. So no, I don't believe in the concept of 50-50.
So do you think it's wrong for when someone says I want to go in 50-50 with you or whatever? I don't know how.
I don't think the motives are pure.
I don't think I've never had the conversation, because we are, if you want to call us unicorns, you can call us unicorns.
No, don't call me no unicorn. I'm a blessed child of God.
You are a blessed child. We didn't go through all the stuff that a lot of people go through, having to date and move in with each other, move out with each other, try to figure out whether we didn't go through.
No, the Lord just thrust us together like peanut butter and jelly.
We kind of skipped over a lot of that, the ups and downs part, which I'm glad we still had our ups and downs, which it was just different. It was just different. I don't even know if I really hear anybody ask for 50-50.
I don't hear anybody ask for 50-50. I think I hear more people demand 50-50.
You do?
It's what is he gonna bring? Because I got the table.
Yeah, the ladies in the internet space seem to think that it's just all the men are just the ones asking 50-50.
No, I have relatives that are females.
Okay, so I think that's a part of the delusion right there. Part of the illusion that they try to paint this picture online is that all the men these days aren't men. They're weak because then they're asking us to go 50-50. But you just told us there that you have women that you see say the same thing.
Yes.
This part I'm out of touch with because I can only see and kind of evaluate what is going on. What I think is there's a distrust.
Yes.
There's a complete distrust of the man and the woman. Now we can say abroad in America, in the Western world, because we hear Caucasian men say that Caucasian women are acting a certain way, and we see African American men say the same thing, and both of them go back and forth between the men and women. I think we have in the African American community have a different, I think it's a different nuance that comes in there with the trust, but nonetheless it's still a distrust between the man and the woman, and you hear and you've heard that the African American man, African American woman do not value each other. And number two, they don't trust each other. I'm trying to figure out how to get over around that part, because I feel like we get stuck there. People still want each other, but then they're coming to the relationship as humans at a board meeting, a boardroom meeting. I don't trust you. You're trying to take over my company. You're trying to take over my company, and we're going to sit here. We need to exist together because we both are companies in America, and we have to coexist with each other in order to thrive. Nevertheless, I'm always got my eye looking whether you're going to stab me in the back or not. That's the way I feel like the landscape of the American dating and courting scene is. I don't trust you. I like you somewhat. You don't trust me. We're both male and females. It's something that we can get out of the relationship, but nonetheless, I don't fully trust you. I think this is why that 50-50 comes up. If you give 50 as much as you can to the relationship, and then I give as much, if something happens and we are no longer together, it's not like I lost.
So going into the relationship, your motives aren't pure.
Yeah,
you have a contingency
This is what
plan.
I see. I think it's like they believe that, okay, if something happens and if she leaves me or she cheats or he cheats, at least I didn't give 80% and that other person didn't give 30%. I think that's just what the thing is. If I give my part and they give their part, it's less chance that I leave this situation.
Then why I don't? So I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, right? I'm picking up what you're putting down, but the common sense in me is like, well, then why would I want to pursue a relationship? period.
I don't know. That's the thing. That's the thing. Why? What I said. I said at this point, the way they make it seem like it's just nobody's good for nothing. Men ain't good for nothing. Women ain't good for nothing. Women are been trained up just to take, use me as a utility. If I'm not their sexual dream fantasy, then I'm just a utility. So what are you doing? I said there needs to be a mass exodus. Why don't everybody just leave each other alone, go over there and date everybody you want to date and do whatever? And then God had to tell me, because the mentality is just going to go from one person to the next. You're just going to take that same mentality into somebody else's. Into if you date out, you're going to take that same mentality to the next race, and then you're going to treat that person the same. You know what you're doing is wrong, and then we have seen people like that will treat their own a certain kind of way, and then as soon as they go over there, they act like, oh, okay, now I have all the sense in the world. Which, if that was the case, you've been operating in rebellion the whole time, because you knew you can be a better person. You knew you could do different.
It's manipulative,
and you just didn't, because you didn't, like I said, you didn't value the people that you were looking at. And it's a sad thing, because I jump in and out of these different groups and just try to be a fly on the wall to see what is going on in the echo chambers of different people's groups, and it's amazing that this stuff just hasn't blew up, unless it's just all online. But I hate to go out and then in the public and send people out in the public and thinking the stuff is online when it's really spread out everywhere. What would you?
I mean, it has to be spread out everywhere. Nothing online is contained only online.
But you've heard that argument too. I don't go nowhere and see none of these people act like this. This is all online. I've heard people say that too.
I mean, yes, because the reality of it is that some people, right? I think they are more. I think some people are truly live that type of life. And then I think that some people live that type of life online, but they get out in public and they govern themselves accordingly. Okay. Right. Which is where that comment comes in. Man, I go outside and I don't see nobody acting like that. Sir, ma'am, that's because you actually do somewhat watch the company that you keep. Because you could turn your phone off and close your laptop and power down your iPad, but I don't know. I think it's all malarkey, and I think it's foolish. And I think that the enemy has just done such a great job at scrambling the minds of so many people. Like he did his big one with that, of turning people's brains into mashed potatoes. Like not even the stiff kind, like the runny kind where you done added too much milk, where it done turned into a soup because of the way that people act. And they literally find no issue with their attitudes, just like the young man, the way he was talking to people that came up on his panel last night. Like there's no world that I would feel like that was acceptable, but I know that you don't talk to people like that day to day. Because if you did, you wouldn't be having all them teeth in your head. Okay. Because everybody isn't going to tolerate that. Okay. People tolerate that online because they don't know you, right? You could turn that stuff off. But you're not finna walk up in no meeting. You're not finna walk up on nobody in Walmart and talk to nobody like that. You're not gonna talk to nobody like that in church. You're not gonna talk to nobody like that in no restaurant. Like you're just not going to do that. That's how come I feel like when what you had said, you gave that example, some people are like, well, man, I go outside and don't nobody act like this. No, because you got somewhat of some sense. You are watching some of the company that you keep. It's still a little bit questionable, but you watching something. You're not just out here all aloof. But anyway, 50-50. I don't believe in that concept. I think that any person that comes in now, this is not to say this has nothing to do with prenup, okay? Because I believe in prenups. But what I am saying is when you come into a relationship that is like, well, I just, in case something don't go right, something goes awry, my bases is covered and my ducks is in a row. Then I have this over there. Then I feel like then you already are going in with a notion that is probably not going to make it. Excuse me. The next thing is that I think that some people go into relationships demanding 50-50 for selfish reasons. I don't think it comes from anything good. Not in a lot of people. Do I think that there are some outliers? Yes. but it's the attitude that some of these people come to the table demanding this 50-50. It's like they have a superiority complex, and that's what makes it look ugly. And that's probably why I might be swayed to not like the 50-50 concept, because of the attitudes of some people that I have seen. It's a turnoff. It's like, why would I want my handsome son to date a woman like you?
I'm about to say, because what about the women that demand?
Why would I want my daughter to date a man like that? My daughters. Like, I wouldn't want my children anywhere near a person that came to the table with that type of nasty attitude. Now, do I think that if it's something that they discussed and they figured out together that that's just something that works for them, then who am I? Because that's not my relationship. But I'm talking about when you got all of this bravado and you got all this big boy hair on your chest, and you talking about what this man ain't gonna do and what this woman ain't gonna do, and you demanded that they do A, B, C, and D. And then when somebody asks you, well, what do? You get to stuttering. Oh, well, I'm kind and I'm gentle and I'm understanding and I have a listening ear and I am respectful and I know how to cook and I know how to clean and I'm very motherly. None of that is tangible. What you're asking for is tangible, but what you're giving back is not. When he gives this, he's either got to physically show you or not. But in order to see those things that you say that you offer, he got to be put in a certain situation, and that certain situation might not necessarily benefit him. So no. So and it could be vice versa. You know, this isn't geared to just women coming to the table and demanding stuff like this. This is geared towards men that come to the table and demand certain things. I think it is a foolish game. And I think, like I said about the enemy, he has really done a good job at scrambling these people's brains. And the fact is that a lot of them don't even see it. They actually think that the things that they say and the things that they believe make sense.